What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 6 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Arkhan the Black campaign. So as we saw last time, with the Black Tower of Arkhan occupied and the Tomb Blade of Arkhan in hand, Arkhan has marched upon the Rock-Up dynasty. We are going to destroy them this particular episode by the looks of it, as they do seem to have 2 settlements remaining, and after they are done, we will move into the main portion of Nehekara after Khemri and whoever else we can get. There's a lot of grand pyramids or great pyramids that we still have to occupy, which will probably include declaring war upon the Disciples of Khorne, or the Exiles of Khorne rather, which should be pretty interesting. We very much lack armor piercing right now, so I'd be curious to see how well we could do against Khornate warriors, or Chaos Warriors of Khorne. We shall see. Now, in terms of what we gotta do this particular turn, let's see. Arkhan, you are going to get a point. Let's go for Legions of Death to upgrade the Fellbats, the Crypt Ghouls, the Direwolves, and the Hex Wraiths. And then that's it for you two. Alrighty, Kagatef, you are moving in. We're probably going to have you join Arkhan's army, mostly because we want to level you, but also because we got the increased mobility out of this, which is always a nice thing to have. King Jock proceeds southward as well towards the Great Desert of Araby, and I think what we'll probably also want to do is we'll want to delete Mr. Araru here. We will rather replace him by milling a few more different types of priests. So, Master of Ceremony, you are kinda useless, so goodbye to you. Next up, who do we have? Oh, another Wise One. You we might keep, actually. Wrathful. We could also keep the Wise One, again, temporarily. It doesn't really necessarily mean we have to keep them constantly around. Proficient Caster, you get milled as well, sorry bud. Next up, we got you. Alright, now the question is, where do we get you on the field? We will probably want to generate a new army, and I'm thinking maybe we'll actually want to generate a new army at Black Tower of Arkhan. We're only 100 canopic jars away, and if we conquer a place, that'll be 50 canopic jars, and if we conquer another one, that'll be the 100. So we'll be able to get a new army up and running. And we do already have open graves here as well. Yeah, you know what, that's not a bad idea, let's do that. You, Lich Priest, Wise, will also immediately get you Canopic Jar Holder, but we'll hold on to the rest of the points for Keeper of Lore and Incantation of Preservation. Lovely. You stay here for now. Next up, you, King Sanakt. I also had an idea about you. Let's actually cancel the bats for now, and rather than build all of these, we'll cancel them as well, and get 1 global recruitment of, say, a Skeleton Spear. Then, we'll use that to actually move you here and then continue recruitment on the way to the front lines. It's pointless to just sit here while we can recruit along this entire road, right? So why not do that? I like that much better. We're also very near to being able to take this entire territory, which would be quite nice as well. And otherwise, are we ready to end the turn? Is there anything else to do here? Let me just see. I'm not sure that there is. I think we did most of the stuff at the end of last episode, which fair enough. Let's double check our Diplo real quick. We got Border Princes, Dread Fleets, nowhere near the military access to be frank. Pirates of Sartosa are kind of getting near to that defensive alliance, which ain't so bad. Become Vassal and Clan Spittle. I don't particularly care about you or what you're doing down there. War Coordination. Nothing out of either of you, though we do have a decent amount of allegiance on the Drakenhof Conclave now. Maybe it might be worth our time to start... You can't recruit while in the stance, though. Because I was just thinking we may want to start putting corpse carts into our armies. They could certainly be helpful. Vigor Mortis alone will buff these guys up pretty darn significantly, even if it isn't an unholy lodestone, which we may not have access to for a while. Depending. And still decent. I believe this guy just upgrades Kasabar to tier 3 and then allows us to and get those unholy lodestones. We also have Vargeists out of here, and we have... Wait, is this local... Locals from the faction's local recruitment. Does this mean the territory, or does it mean the global recruitment? I take it this means this entire territory, so anything here goes. And we'll be able to get access of Graveguard from the Barrow, but we don't really want Graveguard over Tombguard, mostly because we have no way of upgrading them, even if they are more heavily armored and do have magical damage. Nonetheless, I think that's about it. We're ready to end the turn. We could also uncollect some income, but frankly, I think we're doing okay both collecting the income and slowly gaining public order. We could switch this to Worship of Ptra if we wanted to, and uncollect the income, which would allow us to grow quite a bit more, doubling our growth rate, but at the cost of 460 gold per turn. Is that significant enough to be worth our time, though? That's the real question. I'm not entirely sure that it is. You know what? I think we need to save up money. We're about to spend 10,000 gold on the 4th Legion, so I think we'll save it for that. And I believe with that, we're ready to end the turn, so let's get to it. We also need to make use of the fact that we currently have plus 18 casualty replenishment rate. It's quite a lot, so if we get very badly damaged, we can very much easily heal up to full really quickly. Which almost makes me think that maybe now's a good time to go for the Staff of Nagash here. Because we'll heal to full... What is this? What are you doing? Why would you do this? Okay, this guy has no chance here. You know what? I think I'm just gonna auto-resolve this. There's no real point in fighting this. He has absolutely nothing like a chance. Most of his army would get destroyed by the Casket of Souls by virtue of them being so slow, and the chariots would get obliterated by the Hex Wraiths and the Dire Wolves. Yeah, let's just auto-resolve it. We have better battles upcoming, so I think we'll work on those instead. We're also, I think, going to take the money, because once again, the massive amount of replenishment rate via this and Burial in combination means that we can take advantage of Endless March. And hopefully we'll be close to full HP already. Or again. And do you hear the whispers? I still don't know what this means. I accepted this in another campaign, but I guess sure. We hear the whispers. This better do something useful. Oh, man. I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. Let's see. You. Now, if you go here, will you still be able to reach El Kalabad? That's a question. We could just teleport, can't we? We'll still have movement points remaining unless I'm mistaken afterwards, won't we? Or do we have to use our movement points? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. What do you have here? You have a minor settlement. This is going to take about 40%, and this is going to... Yeah, but this is sort of on the way. But it's not along the road, which means we'll have to go here and then there. I think we might not be able to reach it. And I don't like that. And what we could also potentially do is hit El Kalabad, then move outside it, and then immediately teleport. Of course, that would probably mean having to fight this manually, even though this looks like a pretty weak garrison as well. But I suppose we could just move in and summon a bunch of stuff. Do it manually real quick, then move outside it, then hit the Staff of Nagash via teleport, which is going to cost us 500 money, but it'll pay us back, rather than waste the turn. Well, alright, let's do it that way. You're going to head out to El Kalabad. You are going to get phalanxes to start moving through that stuff. Before we attack, however, we are going to lose one of the, let's say, skeleton warriors. And we're going to replace it with our Necrotect here, to increase our mobility. You, Amenhotep. You could also try to leech XP. Alright, unlocked. Great Incantation of Ptra. Oh yes, alright, so we now have the ability to summon the special Necrotect to immediately get a territory to tier 3. And I even have a good candidate for that particular usage. You, King Jokt, are going to move forward. Do we do this or do we go in Tomb Beneath the Sands? Does it matter? Well, we can move further in Corrupted Dynasty's stance, so maybe it does matter. Alright, go like this. Alrighty, so do we get another unit in here just to leech the XP? We could leech the XP elsewhere as well, though. And I'm just a little bit concerned about having too few units to fight for the Staff of Nagash quest, especially as it's it'll be less melee units, and we'll certainly need those. Alrighty, I think we're gonna go like this. Rather than suffering those medium casualties, we're gonna attack real quick. And let's see about doing some damage with our Casket of Souls, and then we'll go into that second quest battle. Alright, we may... Oh, I just realized... I should have checked whether the enemy artillery outranges us, but I suppose it won't matter because we could hit them in the back with our Hex Wraiths anyway, or Hat Wraiths, rather. And somehow I doubt that the enemy's gonna stop that. Alright, simple setup. You back here as distant as you can be. Everybody else here behind them and hopefully out of range of the enemy Screaming Skulls. We'll put the Ghouls and the Hat Wraiths on this side. Oh, rather on this side. And on this side. The Doggos can also move out there, but not immediately, like so. And you can back away further, you guys like so. And I believe that's good. Probably could have also gone into the White King stance, but whatever. Start deployment, please, and start battle. You guys group, let's say 3. You're gonna be group 1. You... Doom Prince is gonna be group 2. Group 3. Alrighty. How protected are those Screaming Skulls? Well, let's say not very. The Ghouls slowly start making your way forward, and then we'll move the Hex Wraiths forward as soon as they're identified. And other Ghouls, you're gonna do the same thing up this way. Nice. And how's that bombardment looking? Well, I'm sure it's looking fine, but you know what? You two are actually going to be group 1. Ah, wait, I made you group 2, I made you group 1, there we go. Move together. We're going to move them in, we're going to start summoning stuff. We don't have to have our, have the rest of our army move in. I'm just going to speed this up as well. I see those Screaming Skulls are inching their way forward. They're probably not going to go after these guys, but it is a possibility. Arkhan also has full magic, so he can do whatever he damn well pleases. Alright, nice shot. Hopefully we can get these Skeleton Archers stuck. You two, ignore that. Summon some Skeleton Warriors here as well to fight these units. Well, you two go and attack that. And, oh damn, they're using Ushabti to protect their Screaming Skulls. Wow, isn't that a smart move? Rather than moving in. That's okay, though. Hex Wraiths, come here. I was gonna have them kill the Skeleton Archers here, but that's okay. We're still here to preserve casualties after all. And the enemy's probably gonna hurt itself more with those than it's gonna hurt us. Let's get another set of zombies up on these Skeleton Archers and then move Arkhan and co. back into the main fight. You give chase to the Skeleton Archers. Warriors are rallying, etc. And you got hurt, most likely by a Legionary barrage. Let's actually move you guys a little bit away from each other. And I think it's also time for the Doggos to go. Doggos, all 4 of you go here and here. One of the zombies is getting unsummoned. You guys can keep fighting. Arkhan, get ready to summon another set of zombies and keep fighting. Zombies chase and Crypt Ghouls. Away you go. Oh no. Hopefully before you take too many shots from those Screaming Skulls. We could probably have moved the Necrotech into this blob as well, but probably not going to make that much of a difference. Alrighty, rest of the army, it's time to move. Go, go, go. Archers, move forward as well. Like so. And how are we doing otherwise? Looks pretty good to me, and something got captured. The Hex Wraiths are in. Oh, that was a very nice use of that Tombstorm right in the middle of our piles of ghouls and stuff. Hex Wraiths, Hat Wraiths, go after those Skeleton Archers. And good. You guys keep summoning, keep fighting until the rest of the army gets here. Alright, we're gonna need to start actually dropping some spells on here. Arkhan and co, get out. Very well. At least we will have destroyed the enemy artillery pieces. And I'd rather not to overstay our welcome, stick around for too long, whatever. Oh, we can actually continue the summoning. Why not then? Alright, Arkhan, keep fighting, I guess. You know what? Let's move the Tomb Prince right here to cap this. And you guys move out. Couple of you ghouls move and capture stuff. Good. And we can hit the enemy battle lines in the back as well. Oh, if it isn't the enemy Tomb Prince, alright, slash the enemy Lord. We'll kill him in a second. Let's keep summoning as well. Something to protect the Ushabti a little bit. Alrighty, nice. Because clearly, Ushabti need protecting. Doggos, in please. Let's say 2 of you move in right here to help cap this. We're gonna take a tiny bit of damage, but it'll be inconsequential by the looks of it. And then you can get ready to hit these guys all in the back. We're gonna take some shots to our own units, but that's just fine. Let's get another Tomb Blade of Arkhan activated now to distract those Ushabti. Nice. And I need you all to capture these locations faster. Thank you. Well done. Ghouls, move it on in. And Arkhan and Co., you need to kill Ushabti. Alright. And hello, if it isn't a unit of enemy skeleton archers. Alright, everybody else looks to be doing pretty darn well. Probably could have actually destroyed the enemy artillery pieces. The enemy tower a little bit earlier, but it's okay. Now the enemy's surrounded. One more summoning should do. Oh, I should have told you to stop firing. My bad. Heal whoever's hurt. Actually, none of you are really all that hurt. You know what? Use physical resistance on yourself, and then you stop firing. Just actually stop firing. Alright, that's captured. Doggos have killed the archers. Everybody hit those Nehekar warriors. Ignore the enemy lord. He will melt away soon enough. Alright, and this unit's gonna get hit from every side now. The Ushabti look like they're melting away. And I do believe we're done here. I guess we could heal up one more time. Heal... let's say the tomb... no, heal yourself, and the Curse of Undeath will heal the Tomb Prince. And the battle should be over. Yes? This guy's gonna recap stuff, but it shouldn't matter at all. An army has spawned. Oh, they still had their Ushabti spawning. Let's get the Dire Doggos away. The Hex Wraiths can take care of that. In fact, if they wanted to, they could get away, but the Ushabti are melting as well. Also, Tomb Prince is here. And now the enemy melts. Alright, now we can definitely speed it up to max. Lovely. Looks like pretty much minimal to 0 casualties. And this guy should start melting. Yes? Alright, get away from him. And don't fight him, just let him melt away. It's not like we're getting hurt by anything. Oh, is he really just going to stick around? Huh. Crumbling, army losses. How slowly is he crumbling? Damn. Alrighty, well, I wanted to avoid getting any more damage on us here. I guess we could heal further if we wanted to. Do we actually want to use the mana for it, though? For, like, such a tiny amount? Probably not. Just charge him. Charge him and hope that this will allow you to melt him away a little bit faster. There we go, there we go. Now he's fully crumbling away. You guys move so that he can't get a hit on you. We'll get a proper battle after this. This was just to avoid the, unnecessary casualties. Because we'll want to move again in this very turn. If it was another turn, I would have just auto-resolved like the last battle. Especially since the Rakav dynasty seems like they're being kind of dumb right now and attacking us. Well, I mean, they sent their full stack to attack us for no reason. They could have garrisoned this place with a full stack on top of this to protect their Screaming Skull catapults with quite a few units. Would have actually possibly been a somewhat tough battle. With Arkhan alone, especially. Almost like somebody's sabotaging their faction from within. We're going to occupy the place, so this gives us 780 in terms of our canopic jars. Arkhan's got his skeleton chariot as well. I mean, we could try it out, why not? We will also... yeah, we do heal up to full here. Nice. We are also going to switch you to Worship of Ptra right now. Because with all the extra movement, we might be able to reach the Great Desert of Araby in... well, by the looks of it, it'll still take 2 turns, but still, nonetheless. Then, Arkhan, I want you to leave this, Wait, how was he so hurt? He had like... he was nearly full HP. Oh, it's because of the chariot. Oh, that's a little bit annoying. He should have started with full HP. Oh, come on, game. I don't appreciate that. Alrighty, well, we're going to fight here. We could get some Scorched Bones, or we could go for another Raised Dead to reduce both the cooldown and increase the uses. How much mana do we have? 110, so we're at max. This doesn't actually reduce the cost, though. It just reduces a miscast chance. So, for +1 uses, I'm not sure it's worth the point. I think we're just gonna go with Legions of Death at level 2 anyway. And then Necrotect, we want you to increase our mobility even further. And there we go. Alrighty, well, while we're here, let's stop on by and grab ourselves a nice staff. And the Staff of Nagash isn't too bad either. Alrighty, let's give this a quick read before we do the battle, though. Though eternally loyal to Nagash, Arkhan would slay a legion to wield even a fraction of his master's power, and the Lich King believes in one such way to achieve this, to find the long-lost Staff of Nagash, a weapon of boundless arcane might. However, it now rests in the unliving hand of Settra the Imperishable, the false king, whose newly empowered bone legions march upon Arkhan's Black Tower even now. Rallying to the Infernal Spire's defense, Arkhan's concern soon grows to mounting horror as rank after rank of Skaven warriors marches into view. A veritable vermintide. Its warlord holds aloft the Staff of Nagash and laughs a repellent laugh. A subterfuge, then. This is Settra's doing. Arkhan's horror turns to dark rage. Vengeance awaits. Ironic that they Skaven have the staff, and yes, this will allow us, if we succeed here, to get our 4th Legion up and running, which would be just great. Alrighty, obviously, okay, so the balance of power is in the enemy's favor, which means there's a lot of reinforcements coming. This is not the only thing that's on the field. Interesting. I'm almost tempted to put him back on his steed for this, but I'm not entirely sure here. Maybe that would be a good idea, maybe it wouldn't. You know what, let's keep him on his chariot for now. I do like the extra little bit of speed, but more importantly, against piles of Skaven, a single chariot might still be at least of some use. Is there anything else that we can do to help us in this fight here? I don't think so. Sandstorms, ambushes, yada yada yada, nothing all that significant. We have no extra items, we have no extra ancillaries. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Alrighty, away you go, Arkhan. Staff of Nagash, which will give us, by the way, magic item drop chance research rate, as well as a cooldown reduction, and banish spell resistance reduction as well, which is quite nice. Alright, here we go. Teleport? Yes. Let's see what we're facing off against. Ooh, they got a Doom Wheel. A couple units of Storm Vermin and Clan Rats, and oh my. Okay, there was a lot more Skaven than I was originally anticipating. Valiant defeat, eh? Alright, we'll figure this out. Banner of Swiftness. Gotta put it on the Tomb Prince. He's gonna have a lot of lords to potentially fight. These Storm Vermin are kind of concerning. Same with the Death Globes. We can't let them get off a single shot. We're gonna have to watch them like a dire doggo. And I believe, yeah, that's the main concern. Let's see if we can pull this off. Here we go. Settra must have discovered Arkhan's quest for the Staff of Nagash, for he has gifted it to a Skaven warlord in return for the Lich King's destruction. Arkhan faces a desperate fight indeed, though if he succeeds, the staff will be his to wield at last. If only this was the Staff of Slaanesh.
Sends his champion to thwart my course, does he? Perhaps he thinks me some princeling. To be swatted aside by such an inferior. Better you had come yourself, Settra. The Staff of Nagash will be mine, and your servant's head will be returned on a spike.
Alrighty, here we go. I like the fact that Arkhan did a legit evil laugh there after his speech. Finally, we don't get enough evil laugh. And unlike the last episode where I commented we couldn't see the Black Tower of Arkhan in the distance in the battle for the Black Tower of Arkhan itself, we can apparently see it here. What are these root systems? Those look kind of interesting as well, huh? And they're like moving throughout the land, eh? I do kind of like that. Not entirely sure where they're coming from exactly. We also got bats by the looks of it flying around the tower. Too bad that we can't actually summon them to help us out. Anyway, here we go. The battle is beginning. It does say well, I guess we can't see it here, but in the actual, well, in the quest battle, though you can't see it in the replay, it says to hold ground against the enemy and watch out for flanking attacks or something like that. Thus, we are going to deploy to try to protect ourselves here. Some units to the front, but then other units to the sides as well to hopefully cover all our bases. And this is also the first time we're going to get to see Arkhan on his flying death chariot, which looks pretty nice. I say death chariot mostly because it is glowing purple a la the Lure of Death. Let's see about getting a charge into some of those Skaven saves. Oh, he does stop, unfortunately. But that is partly because I decided to move in and summon some skeletons as well as some zombies. So a doubling up on that in a little V formation just to try to force the enemy to move towards them, while Arkhan just tries to get some charges in. Gotta work on my charioting here. He does certainly have the mass to push through them, and just gotta make sure not to attack the unit that's directly in front of him, but a unit that is behind, so that he tries to move through multiple units. Anyway, the summoned units are certainly gonna work for us, because while they're distracting those piles of Skaven slaves, Arkhan can get some damage in with his chariot, as well as continue summoning more units. And of course, all that allows our Casket of Souls to dish out the damage. Arkhan does have to be careful, however, as he does start to take damage from the several units of gutter runners that are chucking their shurikens at him. We do charge the gutter runners directly with Arkhan, and are looking to do the same thing with our hex wraiths who have been moving around in the background. We do have to be careful, however, as more reinforcements are suddenly moving onto the field, and this time not Skaven slaves, not clan rats, but straight to storm vermin. And the clan rats, however, are coming in from this side as well. No, those are Skaven slaves. I am wrong. Well, they'll be starting off with some Skaven slaves. So now we are getting attacked from two directions. We do have skeleton warriors and spears, as well as ghouls guarding both sides, and all three of our units of archers are firing in this blob where we have Arkhan just repeatedly summoning units. The hex wraiths do have to move in quickly, though, before the enemy storm vermin move in, and they may be a threat to Arkhan, but they're also a decent threat to the hex wraiths as well. The goal here is to kill off all those damn gutter runners before they can do anything, and it is a massive amount of damage from those charges. Look at those rats go flying, and just like that, 3 charges into 3 units of gutter runners, and every single one of them is pretty much broken. I am absolutely loving the hex wraiths here. Granted, I've always loved the hex wraiths, as they're one of my favorite units in the entire game, if not my top one, as I've already mentioned, but nonetheless. I'm just so happy that SFO brought back the concept of them having the perfect vigor and the physical resistance as they should, and being ghosts and everything. Now they're moving together with Arkhan, who is doing a decent job as well, and I do want to point out that he does have 100 kills on him nearly already, and that's quite a bit more than he usually gets without, well, actually he doesn't currently have access to damaging spells, and I don't believe zombie and skeleton warrior kills count. So, the chariot is certainly helping him move through enemies, and the damage is pretty darn decent. Not to the degree of the hex wraiths perhaps, but 15k compared to the 25k, very much respectable. What's even more respectable, however, is our casket. Nearly 500 kills and 35k damage already. So we got 15k, 25k, and 35k on these 3 units in terms of damage, whereas everybody else is just trying to hold ground and survive and otherwise chase off enemy units that are shattered, or routing rather, in order to make sure that they don't come back. We've also moved more zombies in, but they are being supported by our Tomb Prince here, who is going to try to work on the enemy lord, as well as any enemy assassins, while our ghostly units continue rushing through and knocking them around. Looks like they have plenty of mass to knock both the assassin and the warlord down, though moving them out of that blob of zombies may not necessarily be a good thing. The reinforcements are nowhere near done, however, as the Skaven slaves move towards the center portion, where our Casket of Souls sits and just has command of the field, effectively. But the enemy is moving in a couple of units of Rat Ogres, led by a warlord on a Bonebreaker as well. So certainly something to be concerned with here, and we will have to move additional units to reinforce this side lest they break through. We also do have some Crypt Ghouls chasing the enemy Skaven slaves around with the hopes of bogging them down and allowing our Dire Doggos to hit them in the back as soon as these guys aren't distracted. Granted, we could probably have the Dire Doggos charge the Skaven slaves directly, but they would probably take damage in that case, even against Skaven slaves. The Dire Doggos have very little in the way of defenses after all. But the Skaven slaves have absolutely no chance against the lethal poison-applying Crypt Ghouls, especially now that the Dire Doggos are able to help out. And it does look like this flank will fall to us fairly quickly. In fact, it doesn't even look like the Skaven slaves will last long enough for the dire wolves to even move in. On this other side, however, the warlord and the 2 units of rat ogres are moving in, and we're going to send in both our Tomb Prince and our hex wraiths out of this main line into the reinforcements, as it looks like the King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion as well as the Skeleton Warriors are getting very badly beat up by these elites. I'm just going to give it a few seconds and then charge those hex wraiths in once they're in formation. Don't know how effective they'll be against the rat ogres here, but ragged ogres are generally a fairly fragile and damage dealer type unit, so we shouldn't have too much trouble, I would think, though I suppose we'll see. And then of course our ghouls are going to come in from the other side, looking like they're popping out of those rocks, which kind of does make sense. And there we go. Alrighty, not looking so bad now. The Dire Doggos following it up, both of the enemy Rat Ogres routing, and the enemy Warlord not yet in any bad shape, but the Tomb Prince now whacking away at him. So once these units are done, they can help out with the Warlord. And the rest of the enemy army, however, is starting to push up the center and have moved towards our melee line. Our 2 skeleton units, or our 2 skeleton spear units, are defending, and our bombardment still continues, though now into a unit of Ushabti, which we have summoned in the pile of storm vermin, and just to keep them back from attacking us for as long as possible. Oh, this is a nice shot. A very nice shot. And I was trying to get both the tower and the shots from the casket in an angle there. Really quite nice that we got to summon these Ushabti once again, man. We really gotta build Ushabti buildings. We really need them, otherwise all of our armies are really trash right now. Well, other than Arkhan's army, of course, but all those skeleton warriors ain't gonna achieve too much. Alrighty, keep it up, Ushabti. They're also keeping all of these units distracted. They're killing a decent amount, but they're also distracting them. 83 kills and 15k damage by the looks of it. Very nice for a summoned unit. And for the fact that they're fighting storm vermin as well. Plus, it's nice to finally see the Ushabti do some work, since we haven't gotten too much of that in this campaign as yet. I do wish that Arkhan got some kind of special model of Ushabti for himself, but that's okay. Anyway, our units are moving forward just to try to get the enemy off the hill where the ranged units are not getting so much bullied by the enemy. The enemy does have that Doom Wheel, however, moving in, which may be something of a problem. The enemy has also moved in its reinforcements, those things I said would be a massive problem, and when we saw them, the Death Globes and the enemy catapults, and we immediately react to that with all of our Hex Wraiths charging directly at them, together with some reinforcing Crypt Ghouls. The goal here is, of course, to prevent them from getting a single shot off, as all of these units are quite threatening. A Warp Lightning shot comes down, it looks like manages to kill a few of our Hex Wraiths, although the Curse of Undeath should bring them back to life relatively shortly. Well, to life is a strong phrase, or a strong word, but you know what I mean. It does seem like they're quite effectively killing all of those Death Globes here, and the latter are tied up and unable to fire. Ghouls are now coming in and chasing off those enemy Plague Claws and preventing, hopefully, those Death Globes and Warlock Engineers from doing anything else. Lovely. Well done to the Hex Wraiths, but you guys are going to be needed elsewhere as the battle still continues. Our Ushabti are nearly off the field, 153 kills and 23,000 damage to their name. Very nice, and we are still holding, though just barely in a few places, as a few enemy single entities have broken through. This Warlord is attacking our Blessed Legion here, and this Doom Wheel, obviously. We can't really stop that with the exception of having the Hex Wraiths do it, and they were busy with more important targets, frankly. The Doom Wheel is great, but it's not going to get all that many kills all that fast, especially in the hands of the AI, so we can by and large ignore it in favor of killing things like assassins and other more important targets. Arkhan moving in once again, and he's going to need to help out those Crypt Ghouls in the background, who are kind of in trouble now. Just distracting 3 units, 2 units of Clan Rats and 1 unit of Storm Vermin, but they're at half HP and dropping extremely quickly as they are surrounded here. Not looking so great for them, so Arkhan's gonna try to reinforce. I'm liking the look of this floaty chariot. It may not be as magnificent as Cetra's chariot, but it still does look quite nice. I especially like the blade, the stabby things on the wheels. Alrighty, well, unfortunately for us, it does look like even though Arkhan did get here, he got here just a few seconds too late, and one of our units of ghouls did melt away. I did try to apply that physical resistance on them, as we can see the area of effect and an invocation of the heck, but they had already started to disintegrate, and it just wasn't enough to keep them around. On the bright side, though, with these reinforcements out of the picture and a lot more units getting chased off the map, the battle is very much going our way. A few more relatively decent HP Storm Vermin still heading back up that hill, though taking range fire as they do. Of course, the range fire ain't gonna do too much to them, because Skeleton Archers have garbage for physical or for armor pierce. But these guys are now wavering, and the rest of their army is as well. And this Lord is caught, and it does look like Arkhan and the rest of our units are going to be able to see the rest of the enemy off. Ooh, man, being attacked from every side, that was definitely, it took some doing. It really did. How many kills did Arkhan get? 188, nearly 200, and 26k damage, very good. And I like how he still uses his staff on top of the chariot. And I say this specifically because I specifically dislike how dragon riders don't use their weapons at all. They just sit up there while the dragon does all their work. And I feel like I rant about this in every other campaign, but High Elf Dragon Riders have lances made that are specifically long enough so that they can poke people while they're on their damn dragon. They should get that animation, damn it. It bothers me. Feature creep. If it wasn't for the feature creep, I'm sure we'd have it. But anyway, close victory for us. We certainly took some damage. The biggest hurdle with this is just not knowing where to look. We're getting attacked in various directions from this at the same time, and it's basically just spam clicking, telling the dire doggos and the ghouls and the hex wraiths to switch targets constantly. Though it is nice that we did have this main little settlement sort of area, or like, I don't know, plateau. Something with walls or pseudo walls that we could essentially command the battlefield from. This really allowed that Casket of Souls to clean up, and I'm expecting an absolutely massive amount of kills on that thing. And of course, as we saw, those magnificent charges from those Hex Rates, just being absolutely heroic, taking out those gutter runners, preventing the Plague Claws and the Death Globes from doing anything whatsoever, seeing off those Rad Ogres, chasing Lords around. Absolutely amazing job. Can't wait to get more of these units. Ooh, alrighty, that was definitely a bit of a toughie, and I did end up biting off a little bit more than I was expecting to chew. We did manage to get a fairly decent amount of kills on Arkhan, though. 27,000, or 27 kills. 27,000 damage and 200 kills, which isn't too bad. It's more than he would do on his horse. I think until we level him up in order to get him his melee defense and attack, he might actually be better off on a chariot acting as an infantry blender rather than a fighter. On top of that, our Casket of Souls, 1,000 kills and 100,000 damage. Definitely reliant on you, and the Hex Rates no slouches with 626 kills and 66,000 damage as well. Too bad about that one unit of ghouls, but we'll have to re-recruit it, and I guess it's worth it at the end of the day to get the Staff of Nagash. Now, I think we already have Endless March for a couple turns. I guess maybe we'll want to bind souls, though I would imagine that we'll be able to heal up regardless. Or we could just take the Canopic Jars. You know what? Screw it. Take the jars. We did this for jars. We sacrificed the ghoul unit for jars, and damn it, we're gonna take more jars. And there we go, and our healing will put us up to full, yes, so it would have been a waste if we had healed. Hey, there we go, magic item drop chance plus 20, a little bit of extra research, couldn't go amiss. And 881 jars, which means we got a new lord available. First of all, Arkhan, do you need to channel more winds? You do not, you are looking pretty okay as you are. That means you can go into El Calibad and then max out your healing to full. But you have to watch out for Volkmar the Grim. I joined Volkmar and the Grim into one word to turn him into Volkram. You can join the new army, I guess. So, recruit Lord. Oh, wait. What a scavenger. Ooh. Post battle chance of stealing a magic item, eh? Wow, magic item drop chance plus 3. That's actually a little bit insulting, but sure, let's go with you, buddy. A mortuary cult. We are gonna go into Legions of Legend, and we are going to go a new dynasty. Been saving up for you. Alrighty, and then said new dynasty will arise at the Black Tower of Arkhan with a scavenger lord leading it. We can always swap him out to a better lord if we find one. You have Tomb King, which is great for you, I'm sure. We will get either unit experience per turn, Root Marcher right away, and then we'll go Passage to the Soul Realm afterwards. Here, recruit rank plus 2 for Tomb Princes. Oh, interesting. We'll have to take a look at these a little bit afterwards, as in these other, and then Disciple of Walat. Alrighty, you can start recruiting as well. Let's get a bunch of skeleton archers in here, mostly because you will... let's also get that ghoul. Mostly because you will be defending the Black Tower of Arkhan and El Calibad, most likely for the next couple of turns. Arkhan, did you level up from that? Really, you didn't? I feel like you deserve a full level for that battle. Damn. Game, come on now. I don't appreciate that. We are going to get to you. I mean, we could keep going through hard to hit and make you a better fighter, or we could start moving towards one of the air commands. So basically, dominance, if you're winning combat, you get more melee attack, and persevere means if you're losing combat, but you're not a lord or hero, you get more melee defense and hold on for a little while longer. Most likely it'll be dominance that's better. I would think. Kinda hard to say, but, I'll see. We will, in the meantime, I guess, get... Ooh, Notorious gives enemy leadership reduction. That's quite nice. Though I'm not entirely sure that we will actually have enough points to go through this line and this line and this line all together. Kinda hard to say. Which is the best thing here? Melee defense is only for you, leadership when attacking enemy armies, and armor when under siege and ammunition when under siege, leadership when ambushing. Let's go with infamous legions, I guess, the leadership reduction. What's the likelihood that Arkhan's army is going to be under siege? Pretty low, I should think. Like so. And did you get your chariot now? No, that was before. Okay, good. You do not need the chariot. And you shall not use said chariot. Also, Arkhan, your Scroll of Lycos got replaced, so let's put it on this guy. What if we get attacked here? I'm also a little bit tempted to try out Assyrian's Incantation of Vengeance. Is it still kind of meh? It feels like it's probably still kind of meh, isn't it? Direct damage, greater effect on speed, and it'll still only apply to a single unit. Which means it's probably not worth our time. It's probably much better to just repeatedly spam Neru's Incantation of Protection and Joff's Incantation of Cursed Blades, rather than waste 12 wins on that, because this will buff lots of units, and it'll heal us, and this is just cheap spammable and continue to heal units via the Restless Dead. Spammable spells are the way to go for the Allure of Nehekara. You then, I guess, can keep holding on to your points, although if you go to level 10... Let me just see here. Maybe we can put a point in one of them. Let's say Neru's Incantation, so that you can get a Overcast and Area of Effect. And there we go. Alrighty, anything else we gotta do this turn? King Sanakt, you're supposed to move, and move ye shall, towards Al-Haik. And we can upgrade Phyrus while we're at it. And we still have some cash left over. I'm shocked, but pleasantly so. Oh, I just realized. You're going to be our ranged army, which means we're probably better off not getting as many ranged in your army. Let's go 4, maybe. And then 4 skeleton spears. And as many global recruits as we can get here. You can get 4 more ranged units. And more skeleton spears as well. Everybody's about them skeleton spears. Oh! I had another thought. Corpse carts. Cheap corpse carts. We could get the Balefire, which gives the Hex as well as the Balefire, and yeah, I mean, it's slightly more expensive, but it's probably worth our time. Also, just out of curiosity, we could get a mortar if we wanted to. You can't actually recruit the... Yeah, you're not in camp stance. What we could do is recruit 2 of them, but then we'd have to join these armies together, which I'm not a super big fan of. But it may be necessary. Alright, fine. Just recruit 2 corpse carts at the same time. Both with Balefire, I guess. Who knows when we'll have access to Unholy Lodestone? We might as well power up this army. And the fact is, armies made out of early game Tomb King stuff are pretty garbage, with just piles of skeletons and stuff, so we're better off powering them up as best we can. Now, anything else we gotta do? Oh wow, that battle actually took a while. Oh, damn it. I just realized, if we put you in here, and we can recruit that to rank 1, can't we? Yeah, alright. 1 rank is probably not going to make enough of a difference for us to care, but nonetheless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, at least. At least we'll be able to give back at a higher rank. And the corpse carts, unfortunately, don't get the plus to recruit ranks, but oh well. What can you do? Next up, anything else we gotta build? Land of Assassins, Wizard Caliph Palace, you're still looking good. Public Order is still rising, which means I'm happy. Your Public Order is actually falling, so I think we need to briefly switch you to the Worship of Tra, or the Worship of Asaph, rather, so that we don't drop below 75 and start getting a faction-wide control reduction. That would be quite unfortunate. Yeah, and we need to just buff up these buildings. Just keep building these buildings and get tons of Tomb Guard everywhere. You, Mortuary House, are still probably needed. I did want to potentially build another Tainted Oasis for access to Screaming Skulls, but your growth is already so low that I think it's not something that should be done right now. Minus 12. Honestly, this place collects so little income right now that it doesn't really matter. Next up, Diplomacy. We may have already done Diplomacy this turn. No, we did not, because I did not see that. Or at least, I may not have seen it. Let's go Defensive Alliance with Count and Octulus. That'll probably get us into fights with some High Elves. But, alternatively, we don't do Defensive Alliance with him yet. We just do Military Access. We wait until he loses his armies. And then we join war with a bunch of factions and try to vassalize him. Minus 42, eh? If he loses all his armies, it might be possible for money. Let's hold off on the military or the defensive alliance for now, and just the access. Keep building our relationship, but look towards vassalage rather than mere alliance, because the alliance will make it more difficult, even though it will allow us to collect allegiance earlier. We'll just keep an eye on him, and if it doesn't work for a while, and then we'll just do the alliance. Like so. Anybody else? Yeah, Dreadfleet? I know. Next up, Drakenhof Conclave. Nope, nothing and nothing. Lanwapek wants peace. I feel like I was planning to do this last episode because these guys are gonna die anyway, but then I ended up not. But yeah, you know what? It's 2K. It's free 2K. And they're gonna be dead in a few seconds or in a few turns, so let's just have that. It's not like these guys are gonna really hate on us that much for it. Minus 6 is really not that big of a deal. Alrighty, next up, what else do we have left to do? Doesn't look like that much, but unfortunately I think we're better off ending the episode here. There's a decent chance that we'll get attacked again by King Pentu here. It looks like he has some Tomb Guard and some Skeleton Chariots, and we don't have enough time to fight this battle right now, so we'll fight it at the start of next episode. In addition, we will move Arkhan down to the Great Desert of Araby together with King Jocht and find the first of the 9 books of Nagash that, well, I guess the first one that Arkhan doesn't already come with. And then we'll start moving out towards Volkmar and Sudenburg and all that stuff as well. And maybe towards the Black Pyramid. Lots of stuff to do. Stay tuned for more Arkhan. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.